Okay, so it is July and I'm sitting in my car and I'm sweating and I'm hot. So I don't know how long I'm going to be able to hold out, and I'm not even sure if I've got the brain power now to actually impart what I want to say today, but I'm going to try. Today, what I want to talk about is this concept of happiness. I want to talk about what happiness is and how we can experience happiness. The first point that I want to say is that happiness is not something that is to be obtained from outside of us. Happiness is something that is cultivated from within. Now, we all know this. That seems obvious. That's an inherent truth that we are all born knowing. However, it is easy from time to time to forget this truth, that happiness comes from within, because we happen to live in a consumerist society, which is run on selling the belief that if we do this or buy that, then we'll feel fulfilled. So all day long, every day, in this consumerist culture, we are sold on the idea that happiness is outside of us, that we have to achieve, obtain, buy, or be sold. So it's easy to forget what happiness really is. And today I want to remind you that happiness is something that is cultivated from within. Happiness is an experience that unfolds from our willingness to be right here in this now moment. Now, another point that I want to bring up is that in order to understand happiness, we have to understand the flip side of happiness, which is adversity and pain. We have to understand what adversity is, and we have to understand what pain is so we can redefine it. Adversity is a launching point, and pain is an opportunity. Adversity is a portal into an up-leveled way of being, because I'll tell you what happiness is. Happiness stems from self-trust. And when we move through times of adversity, when we are stripped of who we thought we were, of everything we thought we had, when everything is stripped away from us and we are forced and encouraged to rely on ourselves, we cultivate self-trust. Through adversity, we meet self with a capital S. As we go through the dark tunnel of adversity, in the darkness, we meet ourselves. Adversity is the way through to happiness, if we are willing to engage with it. Now, something occurs when we meet adversity. We are met with a choice. We can escape, we can deny, we can use all of the tools that our ego has collected over the course of our lives to push and avoid adversity, or we can meet it head on and see it for what it is, and that is a stepping stone to happiness, a stepping stone to building self-trust, a stepping stone to becoming an up-leveled version of ourselves. And we can use adversity to become stronger, to become more connected with ourselves, which is the root of happiness. So we have that choice. Either avoid, deny, let the ego take the wheel and drive us away from our opportunity to meet ourselves as we are, or we can use the adversity by engaging with it, by learning from the situation, by becoming stronger versions of ourselves. And that leads us to happiness. So adversity is a launching point to an up-leveled way of being. And it depends on our choice to engage with the adversity, to learn from it, to be courageous. Now, pain is an opportunity. Pain is an invitation to turn in. Now, we never want to create pain experiences. We want to do our best to avoid creating painful experiences for ourselves and others. But when pain occurs, as it does, because this is life and we're all human, when we move into painful experiences, once again, we have that choice to turn away, escape, avoid, deny, let the ego take the lead, or we can use that pain as an opportunity to tune in and listen. We can use pain as a teacher that can teach us how to listen to our pain. And you know what we hear when we listen to our pain? We hear the whisperings of our desire. When we have a painful experience, it leads us into a sense of clarity. This is uncomfortable. I don't want this. Okay, what do I want? So pain kindles desire. It gives us clarity and it kindles desire. And the kindling of desire creates inspiration. And inspiration is a very important ingredient in the experience of happiness. Inspiration is the essence of happiness. When you feel inspired, you are fueled with passion, you are filled with life. So often in life, we come into areas where we meet adversity and we experience pain. And the instinctual reaction to adversity and pain is to shut down and let the ego take the wheel and let the ego make the decisions to drive away, escape, avoid, deny, fix, solve. But what if, instead of doing all of those things, we faced the experience as it is? We took our attention inside of our body and really felt what that experience and that sensation is in there. Yes, it hurts. Yes, I'm scared. Yes, it burns. This too. This too. This belongs too. And when we can take this uncomfortable experience, own it, listen to it, nurture it, feel it, acknowledge it, and say, yes, this too. We remember that we are not the wave of the adversity. We are not the wave of the uncomfortable experience. We are the ocean that holds it all. And everything belongs there. So these moments of pain and adversity give us the opportunity to remember who we are as the holders of all of it, as the ocean with many different waves, okay? So we're just here as the ocean holding all the waves. And as each wave rises, we say, this too, this belongs too, okay? So another aspect of happiness that I wanted to bring up was I wanted to illustrate it through a story that I read once. And I'm actually not sure if this story is true, but I'm gonna bring it up because it illustrates a metaphor that supports my point. So here it goes. I read once that a group of scientists planted a bunch of trees in a biodome. And they were a little perplexed because they couldn't at first figure out why the trees were falling over. And they came to realize that there was no wind in the biodome. The trees were falling over because they were not given the necessary stress that prompted their roots to grow deeper and strengthen. So these trees in this windless biodome had very shallow, guppy-like roots. They were falling over because there was no wind to give them the stress to prompt them to grow the deep roots that could help them stand up. So stress, adversity, pain, those are tools that we can use to help strengthen our roots. So happiness is, becoming happy is a process of learning how to engage with life exactly as it is. Remembering that happiness is not an absence of sadness. The sadness can be there too. Happiness is realizing that you can hold it all. Happiness is not an absence of discomfort. Happiness is not ease. Happiness is to take all of life's changing circumstances and view them with equanimity, taking it all as it comes. So if you're in a space now in life where you're observing, like, look, I'm not happy and I don't know what to do. I am depressed, I am anxious, I'm not doing what I love in my life, I don't know what to do. This too. That belongs too. It's okay. Happiness is not an absence of that. Happiness is recognizing it, putting your hand on your heart, forgiving yourself exactly as you are, realizing you are freaking perfect exactly as you are. And realizing that this unhappy place in life is not permanent. All it's doing is helping you to strengthen your roots, helping you to find clarity on who you are, and helping you come closer into alignment with what your desires of life actually are. And when you can come into alignment with your desires, you can let inspiration kindle your passion for living. And I know, I've been there. I know you're listening to my voice and you're like, that sounds okay. That sounds good, but I could never get there. I get that. Don't try to get there. Just be right where you are now, knowing that, man, I'm feeling you and you're perfect. That's why I'm doing this video. It's because I'm feeling you out there and you are perfect as you are. Don't change. Don't buy, don't obtain, don't achieve. Just be here right where you are and realizing that you're strengthening your roots. You're finding your clarity, even though you might not be conscious of it at this moment. You are. And one day you're gonna wake up and you're gonna have a desire. And you might feel inspired to find an answer for yourself. And you take it one step at a time. One step at a time. One breath at a time. One moment at a time. Just hold on, okay? Hold on. I've got you. Happiness is not an absence of sadness or discomfort. Happiness is not an area of ease. It's being able to move through all of those changing conditions and circumstances with yourself, engaging with yourself, forgiving what is. It's not something that's conditional. It's moving closer to who you truly are on the inside. Okay, I'm sweating. It's hot. And I wish for you one beautiful, happy moment today where you feel a little bit of light, where you feel a little bit of upliftment, where you feel a little bit relief. Because that's all it really takes, is just one moment of relief. Just focus on this one moment. I love you. Bye-bye.